Out of time. Year 3 complete. Scarlet Witch comes out in February of year 4. The Witch's Road. So we've also got our first, genuine female-led superhero film. I know we've got Black Widow and Hawkeye, but that was like a sort of,
Yeah.
co-led.
Co-led, yeah.
So, Wanda Maximoff, after being saved by the Avengers and being helped to integrate back into regular life after being turned down a spot on the Avengers team, ends up embarking on a magical pilgrimage. We see her travel to Ireland. Ireland. To learn from a warlock named Declan Dane, who teaches Wanda about Agatha Harkness, a famous witch that can be summoned to help access the Witch's Road. Agatha agrees with the two... Agatha agrees and the two walk the road. We get to see some multiversal Easter eggs, because it's not yet explained, but the Witch's Road lays between the multiverse.
Okay.
So here, I like the idea that you'd get references to Thor, you'd maybe get references to, Kang and people that we're not really touching at the moment.
Yeah.
You'd see, a Mjolnir or something. It'd be, nice for comic book fans.
Yeah.
What if-style cameos as Wanda sort of wanders through the road. At the end of the road, Wanda must battle a giant magical Minotaur that has been conjured with glowing green eyes and mystical abilities, the two fighting on the road until Wanda defeats the beast. Wanda is then told that the only way to resurrect Agatha Harkness is by using the one wish granted at the end of the road, because she goes on the road, the whole concept of it is that you get whatever you desire. Okay. She wants Pietro. Yeah. But along the way, she's developed a sisterhood with Agatha.
Okay.
The only way to get Agatha back is to use that wish.
Okay.
But Agatha is going to sort of say, well, bring me back to life and I'll help you find Pietro anyway.
Oh, so she's going to manipulate her.
Basically, Agatha agrees to tutor Wanda and find Pietro if she is brought back to life, and Wanda agrees. As the two leave the road to find Pietro, we get the reveal that the Minotaur was sent and controlled by the Warlock seen earlier in the movie, Declan Dane, and the reveal that that Wanda is a descendant of the people that banished Dane's family initially, because he's a native to Ireland and stuff. There was a whole ancient conflict between witches and warlocks. Mm-hmm. A load of lore dump and exposition.
Yeah.
This is set up for a sequel, and we get an end credit scene of Agatha and Wanda using a ritual to try and find Pietro, who has aged much more than Wanda, though she manages to use her power to de-age him back down.
Okay.
Barry Keoghan is Declan Dane.
That makes sense as well, he's Irish.
And I found this awful looking picture of Declan Dane, and I'm like...
That looks like Joker from the Batman.
Yeah. I'm like, yep, that's Barry Keoghan. So yeah, he's from... So this is my version of an adaptation of the 2016 Scarlet Witch run. Okay. It's not bit for bit, but it's the same characters and concept and stuff.
Gotcha.
I don't know... No, okay. I did cast... You won't know who he is, but we'll get to it when we get to the next Avengers film. I have cast Pietro, but I don't think I give him a screen.
Yeah.
But it's an actor from House of the Dragon.
Okay.
So, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Very similar to the IRL film, in the general sense of Hydra being behind S.H.I.E.L.D. and that whole thing. Big showdown at the end of the film, though, between Captain America and Red Skull, who has been incognito with his skin mask thing the entire film. Do you remember, is it Robert Redford?
Yeah.
That character's role as, kind of the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. would be Red Skull in this. And the big reveal at the end. We've got, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Sin, his daughter, battles Black Widow, and Crossbones takes on Falcon and Hawkeye, because they're both in this film.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the film, we get a one-on-one battle between Steve and Bucky, who's also in this film, before Bucky turns himself in and is taken to the raft by General Ross.
Okay, interesting. Matt Smith as Red Skull. Oh boy.
I don't know why, but he's got the cheekbones for it.
Yeah, you could put that latex on that. It would actually work.
Daredevil 2, The Defenders. August of year 4. The crime families, mobs, and gangs of New York, ignore Walton Goggins down there. He was just part of the edited picture. Are looking to take advantage of territory after the takeover during Dark Empire. Punisher and Daredevil must stop them. Led and funded by the Kingpin, notable crime bosses Hammerhead and Tombstone take charge. They cross paths with personal investigator Jessica Jones when she's investigating a missing persons case, and she gets pulled into the mix. Luke Cage also makes his debut here, as well as the villain Cottonmouth. The film follows the Defenders, led by Daredevil, taking on multiple gangs and Kingpin fighting for control over New York after Dark Empire, including cameos from Norman Osborn, Tombstone, the debut of Cottonmouth, like I said. Ultimately, the film ends with a showdown between Daredevil and Bullseye. Bullseye's finally brought in. Fisk kind of got, like, slowed down during Dark Empire. Finally brought in Bullseye. Daredevil wins. Bullseye's still very early on in his career. And he breaks, accidentally, Bullseye's back.
Gotcha.
End credit scene shows Kingpin arranging Bullseye to go into surgery where his spine will be fused with adamantium.
Okay.
Will Poulter is Bullseye.
I wouldn't have thought about that one.
No, this was a bit of a weird one because I couldn't really think of anybody to play Bullseye. And I was like, Will Poulter's pretty good.
Colin Farrell.
We're not having him. Marvel Lore Season 2. Look, there he is. I told you. So, the second season of Marvel Lore follows new characters that will be prominent later in the MCU. The first set focuses on the origins of Luke Cage, who we've already seen, but we didn't really get an established sort of look at his powers. The crimes in Harlem that are sort of surrounding him. A one-shot based on Werewolf by Night showcases that character in a flashback episode. 2 episodes on War Machine, going into Rhodey's morals, relationship with Tony and Pepper. Very small cameo here from Tony Stark. And a flashback to them first meeting. And then the last 3 episodes focus on the recently debuted and highlighted Winter Soldier. The first episode showing us the opposite point of view of Through the Looking Glass, the episode of Agent Carter, but all from his point of view instead. And then going into his creation in more detail, the survival of Arnim Zola.
Have you not played Winter Soldier?
I didn't cast him.
Oh, really?
I couldn't think of anyone better than Sebastian Stan.
That's fair, that's fair.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know where I was up to. The survival of, what he's been up to in the Winter Soldier stuff, not only for like a cool parallel to the Agent Carter episode, but to bring Arnim Zola into the modern timeline basically and show that he's like an AI computer sort of thing. Aldous Hodge is Luke Cage and Russell Tovey is where
of course he is.
Aldous Hodge was Hawkman in Black Adam. Very, very good actor. Miscast in that film, though.
Yeah, that movie was oof.
So, year 5. Spider-Man 2. Look at this, John.
Mysterio Boogaloo.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So,
we said that at the same time.
So, failed Hollywood VFX technician Quentin Beck has tried to make a name for himself for years and just has never had his big break. Inspired by the Avengers, he decides to make himself into a superhero. It's Far From Home.
Yeah.
It's Far From Home, but I'm not doing like the fake multiversal shit or the Tony Stark shit.
Okay.
It's the same with like the projection drones. He's looking to outperform Spider-Man and setting up fake scenarios to make himself look better than Spider-Man.
Yeah, and those fake scenarios would result in actual real people being put in danger.
Exactly.
That's why he has to get taken down.
The film pans out pretty much the exact same with the end of Far From Home and stuff. Obviously, we're not going to reveal Peter's identity because we don't need to.
Well, that might have been the biggest mistake that they did in the MCU. Yeah, you shouldn't have ever done that.
Black Cat is back in this film, but she's like firmly established as a character. Yeah, that's it for like the second Spider-Man film.
Okay.
Black Panther. Early on in my MCU, I'm not waiting 8 years to debut him.
You're just waiting 5, only 3 less.
So, T'Chaka, who is T'Challa's dad, is assassinated by Namor, king of Atlantis, starting a war between Atlantis and Wakanda. Shuri, fueled by grief, goes after Namor and returns extremely injured, while T'Challa readies the tribes of Wakanda as Atlantis declares an invasion. The film rolls out very similar to Black Panther 2, but with T'Challa as the lead taking on Atlantis. Towards the end of the film, we see a trio of Black Panthers band together, Shuri, T'Challa, and M'Baku, to take on the powerful Namor. This is also the first time you're ever seeing like multiple Black Panthers, because I'm going with the logic of there can only be one.
Alright.
But because of the threat, they've got to all band together, bring their different tribes together.
Okay, gotcha.
They manage to make Namor retreat, and Atlantis is free to return and be a free city, though under new rule as Namor is captured and contained within Prison 42.
Okay, which is?
Shouldn't even be constructed at this point. So I've broken my own law.
I've broken your... Oh no, the law.
It will change. Well, I was going to say he should be on the raft, but then I was like, he's an aquatic villain. They can't put him on the raft. Maybe they... I don't know, but I imagine like we've got the raft, we've got the cube, we've got prison 42.
Maybe detain them in maybe Wakanda have like their own special like prison.
Temporarily, we'll contain him in Wakanda until we've got prison 42.
Yeah, okay.
Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Ow, just need your table. I'm sorry.
Tony Stark and Shield agree that Earth needs a defense after the rise of Hydra, so they develop the Vision. Obviously, they decided they needed a defense and they weren't good enough. Because Hydra fucking won. So they're like,
yeah,
well,
exactly.
we need something better. So it's the same sort of concept of like they create Vision, a rogue AI.
Yeah.
It's more of a low-key Avengers film though, focusing on the mainline group. Even though we've got a lot of characters, not everyone is here, because I like the idea of not everybody needs to be in every fucking Avengers film.
Okay then, right.
People can be off doing their own thing. Ultron generally has the upper hand against the Avengers, but Wanda and Pietro come in clutch. They come in for the save. We finally get, at the end of the film, we get Wanda officially meeting Vision, and both twins get recruited onto the Avengers team. We do get a glimpse at the Defenders of New York fighting like Ultron bots, but they're not like a key part of the storyline. It's just, this is where they are.
Okay then.
But by the end of the film, Quicksilver, Wanda, Vision, and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage are brought onto the team for helping defend New York.
Okay.
So they're all recognised as Avengers.
So the defenders would be, you'd have like, so Daredevil's already in it.
So you've got Daredevil, Punisher, who's obviously not on the team.
Right.
So he's in the Defenders during that time, but they're not letting him on the Avengers.
Okay then.
So you've got Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. I haven't got Iron Fist at the moment. Troy Baker.
Oh, that's actually really...
is the voice of Ultron.
I really like that. I really like that.
This was a bit of a risk because I didn't know if you knew who he was.
No, he voices the Joker in Arkham Origins.
He voices like everyone.
He voices the Joker, I think, in Long Halloween as well. He's fucking fantastic.
He is brilliant. And I was like, he's the guy.
Yeah.
That I
he also
want if
voices
I'm doing
Indiana
voice
Jones in the
acting.
new Indiana Jones game.
He's really good. Age of Ultron, that's my Quicksilver.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone with an Italian actor. Because
Okay.
Pietro is an Italian name.
Yeah.
So I've tried to make it at least a little bit faithful there with the fan casting. We've got Falcon.
Is Pietro a Italian name?
I googled it and it said it was.
I thought it was.
So I've gone with the concept that
I thought it was more like where Wakanda, where Wanda's from. Jesus. I thought it was more like Russian or like Eastern European.
Romanian, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Pietro.
I've got. It sounds Italian. Listen.
Listen.
My pitch. If Pietro's Italian in my pitch, he's fucking Italian.
No, I'm saying if he's a good actor for the role, then yeah. Go for it. Why is Sam Wilson there?
Because he's Falcon. He was in.
Oh,
Captain
you're just keeping
America,
Anthony
the Winter
Mackie. You're
Soldier.
keeping Anthony Mackie
Yeah,
the same.
of course I am.
Okay then. No, you just didn't establish that.
Keeping Don Cheadle.
You just didn't. They weren't brought up with
I
cast.
just assumed it was like presumed.
No, because you didn't say any cast. It was like, I just thought, you're not going to put who's
But
cast.
I said we're going to
who's
have
playing
Robert Pattinson, and he's still here. So I've kept Christian. I just assumed like
Yeah,
it
okay.
was- yeah.
So anybody that you don't bring up is exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
I'll be getting the hang of this soon.
Here we go, John.
Oh, Matthew Good as Reed Richards. That's
first
sick.
the first cosmic film of the MCU.
Okay.
So, a group of S.H.I.E.L.D. astronauts get stranded in space while investigating life on a different planet. During this, we see the origins of the Fantastic Four. They get sucked into a magical portal that strands them into in distant space, where we see them visiting different planets, upgrading their ship so that they can try and get back home.
Oh, so it's like a magical venture through all of space to try and get home.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. Along the way, they experiment with their new powers and sort of come to grips with their newfound abilities and stuff. We get cameos from different Marvel characters and comic species and things. Howard the Duck, Groot and Rocket. Plenty of cosmic cameos and Easter eggs. A Star Wars cantina type scene of Johnny in a space bar, and I like the sort of idea that he's hooking up with all the aliens.
Yeah,
Because that's something that he would like accidentally get married to an alien or something.
Yeah, that's very Johnny
I
Storm.
got Dacre Montgomery as Johnny Storm.
What's he from?
Stranger Things.
Okay.
Power Rangers, he was the Red Ranger.
Oh, was he? Oh,
Yeah,
right. I thought I'd remember that.
So, and obviously Matthew Good as Reed
Yeah, that's
Richards.
fucking inspired casting. That's really good.
That's purely because of Abigail and the time that we spoke about that. I was like, yeah. Otherwise it would have been Patrick Wilson. Throughout the film, Victor Von Doom is trying to return the team back to Earth. He's a scientist that was working as part of S.H.I.E.L.D. and as part of their research team.
I think I know where you're going with this.
instead focusing on the rays that gave the Four the powers. What have I done? Wait, let me go back a second.
Do something.
You threw me off for a second. I'm blaming you. Victor Von Doom is trying to return the team back to Earth, but doing so unsuccessfully. So then he moves his focus onto the rays that gave them their powers, using them to enhance his already developed sorcerer abilities.
So he's already a wizard?
Yes.
Okay.
At the end of the film, the Four team with Rocket and Groot to fight space pirates, and eventually taking on Ronan the Accuser.
This is Guardians.
It is Guardians. Because I fucking hate that film now. I don't hate it, but I don't want it.
I don't want it anymore.
So Ronan the Accuser wants to harvest the Force powers to enhance his Kree soldiers, because it's established here Kree versus Skrull war that's going on.
Yeah.
During the final act, we see the Four returning to Earth with the help of Rocket, who upgrades their ship after the final battle with Ronan. It is then revealed that Victor was the one who summoned the magic portal, hoping to return Sue back to him and strand the other free, but he was unsuccessful. His obsession with Sue Storm is brought forward before the Four attack him for stranding them, and he manages to escape using a Doctor Strange-esque magic portal to teleport him away. The Four and their newfound powers are far too much for an apprentice-level Doom.
Okay. So this is like in mine, but it's like you've started him with magic, but he's much smaller of a character. I thought when you said he's trying to bring them back to Earth, you go, and that's what causes his accident. Like something blows up in his face, and that's why he gets scarred up.
Is him getting affected by the rays only in that Fantastic Four film?
Yeah, I think typically he's not.
Okay.
Typically he's just like, he's got vague wizard powers.
That makes me feel better than about not doing it.
No, it's just in that film. So, I thought it was going to be that in trying to bring them back, maybe something goes wrong and it explodes in his face.
I liked the idea of their astronaut suits provided by S.H.I.E.L.D. looking like their Fantastic Four suits. Mm-hmm. The end credit scene for this is Doom arriving at Doomstat. The portal opens up. He's at Doomstat. He's at Castle Doom. He's greeted by an Agatha Harkness, who has seemingly left Wanda's side, though it's not clear when exactly this end credit scene takes place.
Okay.
Did he go directly to Doomstat? Did he, make a pit stop? Mm-hmm. And why is she away from Wanda?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, of course.
There he is.
Of course. Yeah, there's only ever going to be one casting between us, isn't there, for Doom?
Yeah. He's fantastic.
He's perfect for the role. Perfect. He even looks like Doom there. He's not even wearing a mask and he looks like Doom. Okay, we've lost the subtitles now. The year 6, okay.
Black Widow and Hawkeye 2, Echoes. So this is a strong introduction and background flushed out for Kate Bishop.
Okay.
The idea is that she kind of made a cameo earlier on in one of the other films, but this is like an actual, similar to like the Hawkeye show. This is like her proper firm introduction. We meet like her family and things like that.
Okay.
Both Black Widows are also here. We see how Kate Bishop became such a skilled archer. We've got 2 Black Widows, 2 Hawkeyes teaming together kind of thing. Uh-huh. We also get to see they take on the Tracksuit Mafia, led currently by Echo, who we then see is tied to Kingpin. She's his adopted daughter.
Okay.
He's kind of like using her to like gain a bit of an upper hand and stuff, because he's been foiled multiple times at this point.
Also, one thing I will say, your first Fantastic Four film sounds way better than what mine was.
Mine's literally just Guardians with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, yours sounds way better than what mine was. Anyway, sorry, I had to interrupt.
So we've got Bullseye back. We've got... Hold up 1 second. I've lost where I am.
Alright,
both Black Widows team with both Hawkeyes to take on the Tracksuit Mafia, led currently by Echo. Her ties to Kingpin are recognised, and the team of 4 go after Fisk, who is now also protected by an enhanced Bullseye, because he's got his adamantium spine.
Yes.
We see a very cool fight where Bullseye is able to keep up with both Black Widows and both Hawkeyes at the same time. And Echo is being involved there, trying to like sort of back him up a bit. But the tables turn when it's revealed to Echo that Fisk is using her the entire time.
Okay.
And Fisk is actually behind the death of her biological father. She then turns, and that's how they take out Bullseye. Fisk, I'm going to say, gets shot in the face.
Okay, he's dead.
He's not dead, but he gets shot.
Okay.
It's the end of the Hawkeye show, basically, where she aims the gun at him, gunshot, but it pans away kind of thing. You don't really know what's happened.
Okay.
Presumed dead. Doctor Strange, May of Year 6.
I see Mephisto. Some people are going to be happy.
Doctor Strange origins here compacted down into the first 40 minutes. So basically Doctor Strange from the MCU, but compacted down as much as you can. An introduction between Strange and Wanda, comparing their two forms of magic. Bit of a time skip. Establish how long Strange has been operating post the Dark Empire event, training as a proper sorcerer for longer than Wanda, offering to mentor her. At this point, again, Agatha's for some reason just sort of off. Like, Pietro's come back into the fold. Agatha's sort of like...
Well, because she's done what Wanda asked her to do.
Yeah, pretty much. So she's just sort of free to go do whatever the fuck she wants. The two are targeted by Mephisto, the devil of the MCU and the king of lies. Mephisto presents Wanda with the Darkhold, and after tempting her with unlimited power, Strange seemingly steps in to defeat Mephisto, kind of backing him off. This is where I've included a panel from House of M, because he's sort of showing her what could be.
She could have, yeah.
Exactly, she could have the perfect world. There's an end credit scene where the film shows the Emerald Warlock from Scarlet Witch 1 being given the Darkhold by an Elder God, after it vanished during the fight between Strange, Wanda, and Mephisto. During this film, we get an Agatha name drop. Wanda mentions that Agatha is off catching up with the world now that Pietro's back.
Okay, then.
Dev Patel.
Ooh, I like that.
Doctor Strange.
I like that casting. I think that's good. I'm a what? A wizard.
We've got Marvel Lore Season 3 X. They're here, John.
Oh, here we go.
So, Episode 1, Something Sinister. Episode 2, A Child's Wish. Episode 3, The School for the Gifted. Episode 4, Lucifer. Episode 5, The Great Nightcrawler. 6, Take Flight. And 7, 1944. The first two episodes cover Cyclops' origins, and it introduces an early version of Mr. Sinister, because he's an orphan. Mr. Sinister kind of like taking control of them and stuff and trying to take advantage. 3 and 4 cover the origins of Professor X. 5 and 7 follow Nightcrawler and Angel as sideshow attractions on a travelling circus. I put 5 and 7, I mean 5 and 6. And then the finale covers the origins of Magneto.
Of course, yeah, I thought so.
A season of Marvel lore that focuses on the origins of the X-Men that will be featured moving forward. The idea that I've gone for is that mutants have always existed, but there's never really been, in the past 6 years, a reason to really focus on them, because there's just the stories that we're telling don't relate to them.
And it's also, you could also say that maybe like Professor X is keeping them back from the world so they don't get like
I like the idea that like this entire
against.
time there's never been like a mutant event that has caused for them to be focused on.
Yeah.
So we've just got like some nice little origins going on. And also mutants through history were just a lot rarer. I like the idea that sort of over time, over the many centuries,
as they've procreated, the mutant genes expanded more, got out there more.
So that's why we don't really see any mutants in like the flashback episodes or anything like that.
Also makes sense then when... So how old... So if Magneto's still having like the 1944 origin, how old is he?
So in the comics, it's now established that Magneto's age slows time because of his magnetism.
Right.
So, but I've headcanoned him to be around late 60s. Late 60s, early 70s.
But in like 1944, how old would he have been?
Oh, like this is like a young child Magneto.
So his kids in the 1960s... I'm assuming you're doing Wanda and Pietro with his kids in the 60s. How old would he have been when he had those children?
Late 30s?
Late 30s.
No, how old?
That's
late 20s.
Late 20s. That makes sense. Okay.
Because the Through the Looking Glass episode is like late 60s.
Yeah.
So you go, yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense chronologically.
About late 20s, early 30s, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. All right.
Spider-Man 3, The Hunt.
Oh, is this Craven's Last Hunt?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, good.
September of year 7. Are we on year 7? Chuff it X. No, we're on year 6. I think I've moved this.
You've moved that, okay.
Kraven the Hunter is hired by an unknown villain to hunt down Spider-Man. The film pays homage to Predator 2 with the idea of like a city setting and a predator-prey dynamic.
Yeah, okay.
So traditional hunting techniques and tactics but being applied to like a modern day sort of setting.
Yes.
I don't know why Predator came in, like to mind, but I just really like the idea of like Spider-Man's suit getting fucked up to the point where he also has to resort to not using technology and taking down Kraven in like an old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
So, Kraven the Hunter here is from Wakanda, uses Wakandan technology. We get cameos here from Black Panther and Shuri, as well as
so I'm
some
guessing his
straight
name
up...
isn't Sergei Kravinoff then?
No.
You know, okay.
We get some, like, really nice exposition and stuff for Wakanda, his, like, upbringing and stuff, and just, you know, extra little tad bits to further
I like
pad
that.
him out.
I like that twist that he's from Wakanda. That's kind of cool.
The idea is that at the start of the film we see a fight between Black Panther and Kraven. Kraven is exiled from Wakanda after that, which leads to him becoming a bounty hunter. Right. And that's how he's been hired to take on Spider-Man. Cameo from Daredevil in this film, because Defenders and New York and stuff. Just a small role where we see him working with Peter and Black Cat. Black Cat here is now fully established as, like, not only Peter's romance, but, like, she's got the outfit and everything.
So you're not doing MJ?
Not at the moment. It's the first time we see Black Cat in full costume, fully realised and fighting alongside the other heroes, though she ends up only appearing for the first and last acts of the film. She sort of takes like a dip out and then comes back to help Peter with the final
because I imagine
fight.
like the middle part will be more like Peter trying to hide because he's being hunted by this mad Wakanda who wants to eat him.
Ant-Man and the Wasp 2!
Who are you casting as, just real quick, who are you casting as Kraven?
No idea.
No idea, okay.
No idea.
No idea.
Ant-Man and the Wasp 2! This is where Hank comes into it.
Oh, okay.
We got Hank and Hank.
Okay.
This was I was writing this and I was like, God, there's a lot of people with like Peter as the same name. You got Peter Quill, Peter Parker, Hank Pym, Hank McCoy. They were just not inventive with the names. Essentially the same as the first Ant-Man film, with Yellowjack as the villain here. Hank and Janet have toned down how much they use their suits, but they're still actively operating as Ant-Man and the Wasp. Just a lot less. They're looking for people that could take over for them. Scott Lang is introduced and proves that he's capable of taking over the Ant-Man mantle when Hank is ready to hand it over. Okay. And Janet continues to operate as the Wasp. We get a lot of commentary about like superhero mantles, passing the torch, what would happen if the world had 2 Iron Men, 2 Captain Americas, that kind of thing. Cameos here from Falcon and Rhodey to kind of like hammer that home.
Yeah.
That they already kind of exist and could exist further and that sort of thing. We also get a Hank McCoy origins in this film, with Hank and Hank working together for a period before McCoy transforms into the Beast, fights briefly with Ant-Man before going into hiding, and that's his sort of exit from the film. I like the idea that they're messing around with like pin particles and shit to battle Yellow Jacket, and something goes wrong, and boom.
So why does he change his name to Hank?
It's sort of like, oh, Hank's a nickname for Henry. Like, what's your name? I'm Henry Pym. Oh, I'm Henry McCoy, but people call me Hank McCoy. We could be Hank and Hank. It's like a stupid fucking...
Okay, then.
Hardy-ha! Isn't it nice for business?
Is Hank a nickname for Henry?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought they were 2 separate names.
No, that's why I've done it.
Oh, all right.
Because they've technically got the same name.
Gotcha.
So yeah, the film ends like similar to the Ant-Man film.
Okay.
We've got Cassie Lang in this, and it's shown in the end credits scene that Cassie Lang has been stealing pin particles from the lab, accidentally taking volatile ones that Beast were working on.
Right.
So not the specific ones that turned him like that, but ones that are not safe for like human consumption.
Oh dear. That's the end of year 6. Year 7 begins.
Yeah, even though the numbers there. But yeah. Scarlet Witch 2, The Emerald Warlock. So, Wanda has been unable to contact Agatha for quite some time and can't seem to locate her with a spell. She's been spending a lot of time, though, with Pietro and Vision. I like the idea we're getting some development for her and Vision, because we didn't get too much of it in the actual MCU.
Yeah, no.
So I like the idea that, you know, he would turn into human form and they'd go on like a date and stuff.
Yeah.
It comes out in February, Valentine's Day.
Ah, yeah, okay.
That's the reason I've done it. It would have sort of like a bit of a rom-com vibe to the start of it before we get into the action.
Okay.
Suddenly, the group are attacked by mythical beasts, all bearing the same green eyes similar to the one that she fought at the end of the first film. The Warlock is summoning dark creatures to attack Wanda, trying to bait her into finding and attacking him. He wants her to figure out that it's him. He believes that he can unlock the potential of the Scarlet Witch, a prophecy, by killing and resurrecting her. He hopes that if, you know, he pushes her far enough, she'll unlock powerful powers and he can harness it.
Okay.
The Darkhold that he has been given the end of Doctor Strange gives him the ability to resurrect somebody.
Okay.
And he wants to be able to sort of like necromancer style control her.
Okay.
As the Scarlet Witch. We see a huge CGI spectacle as the witch takes on Kafon, who is like the galactic god that gives her powers in the comics.
Okay.
A version of an elder god, as well as other elder gods that are summoned by the Warlock before we finally get to Dane. We would see, like, Cthulhu would be in this, for example.
Oh,
we
really?
would go pure Lovecraft with it, pure, like, cosmic horror kind of thing.
That would be really fucking interesting.
And then we've got Black Panther 2, 1943.
Okay.
The leader of Wakanda, this is all flashback, pure flashback film. T'Challa, a.k.a. Azuri, must defend Wakanda against invading Allied and Axis? How do you say that?
Axis.
Nazi.
I don't think that's how you say it.
Must defend Wakanda against invading Allied and Hydra forces as they try to lay claim to the bountiful amounts of vibranium that is naturally embedded beneath the Wakandan wildlands and cities. The first initial half of this film is mostly a political action movie with cameos from the Howling Commandos, Peggy Carter and Steve Rogers. It's stated here that this must take place somewhere after Steve loses Bucky on the train, but before the final act of the Captain America film. I like the idea that he sort of goes off and does multiple missions. So Captain America's very sad in this film because Bucky's just died.
Yeah, okay.
We get a Namor cameo of him much younger, but his reduced aging was hinted at in the first Black Panther film, and that's how he's still, present.
Is it the same guy playing Namor?
Yeah.
Okay.
We also see Namor and Azuri briefly team up to battle Captain America before the three of them realise they've been pitted against each other by the evil Hydra leader Baron Strucker. Namor uses his Atlantean forces to distract Hydra, while Azuri and Steve team up to take on Hydra directly on land. Steve goes against orders and agrees to let Black Panther handle things himself. Then a showdown between the Panther and Strucker atop a Hydra castle in the Snowy Mountains takes place.
Okay, cool.
Kyrie Payton as Azuri. He's playing that same character in the new Marvel game that is totally not the inspiration for this.
I'm a bit... Who's Azuri?
He would be T'Challa's granddad.
Gotcha.
So just the Black Panther of Wakanda that was operating during World War II.
Okay.
Aidan Gillen, who is Littlefinger from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
is my evil Hydra von Strucker, Baron von Strucker.
Gotcha. That's a good. That'd be cool to see.
Marvel Lore Season 4. We've got Weather Warning. I wonder who that is. Lunar Eclipse, Khonshu, Limbo, The Lost City of Kunlun, Blazing Fury, and Ring of Fire.
That would be the one I would be most excited for.
What, Ring of Fire?
Should we take are you going in depth onto each episode in the next slide?
I'm not going to go... It's kind of self-explanatory that's Storm. We've got like a Moon Knight double feature. Limbo is magic. The Lost City of Kunlun is Iron Fist. Blazing Fury and Ring of Fire, Ghost Rider.
What's Khonshu then?
Khonshu is the god that gives Moon Knight his powers.
Gotcha.
He's constantly listening to Khonshu. So then I've got Ross Butler as Iron Fist and Jodie Turner-Smith as Storm.
Yeah, that works.
We've got Oliver Jackson Cohen as Moon Knight. Now I don't know who this actor is, but he's everybody's fan cast for Noon Night.
For Noon Night. He's not quite Moon, he's Noon.
For Moon Knight,
so mid-afternoon. He's mid-afternoon night.
And then obviously I was keeping Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, that's perfect.
She's fantastic casting.
I feel like I've seen him in something.
He's got a very familiar looking face. I think I've seen him in something.
If we look up after this what he's been in, we'll both go like, oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, yeah.
So then we've got Avengers House of X.
Let me just quickly... Who's playing your Johnny Blaze?
No idea.
Nick Cage?
I don't focus on him much in this, I'm not going to lie.
Is it Nick Cage?
It's not Nick Cage.
Damn it!
So Avengers House of X. Multiple X-Men have been introduced and are brought together showing anti-mutant protests after introducing Magneto as the film's main villain, as he looks to form a brotherhood that wants to wage war against humans for their racism against mutants. The X-Men are formed to combat this, and we see multiple fights between the X-Men and the Brotherhood. It's basically X1.
Yeah.
The introduction of characters such as Magneto, Mystique, Juggernaut...
So, this is an Avengers movie.
So, the reason I've labelled it Avengers is because it's a big ensemble piece, And at the very end, the Avengers are there to recruit some of the X-Men and sort of interact and stuff.
Right, okay.
You see this later on as well. I kind of use the Avengers films as just big ensemble important pieces.
So they're like big like events almost.
Yeah,
so
basically.
Instead of it being like DC has its crises, yours has like Avengers means event.
Yeah, basically.
Gotcha.
So I've put the teams down here as being Cyclops, Wolverine,
I've also
Storm.
just thought, because they have in the comics, they have Wolverine meet Captain America. So in like previous things, you could just have like an innocuous Canadian or something just randomly.
In my initial draft for Captain America, before I changed the casting and before I like redesigned it all and stuff, I had like a visual board and Wolverine was on there because I liked the idea of him being like a cameo.
Yeah.
And I also liked the idea of him being part of the Howling Commandos.
Yeah, that would have been kind of fun.
So like a bit of a play on he's Wolverine, he's a Howling Commando.
Yeah, that would have been kind of sick.
But yeah, so I've put the teams. We've got Cyclops, Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, Iceman, Jean Grey, and Beast versus Mystique, obviously Magneto, Juggernaut, Pyro, Toad, Angel, Nightcrawler.
So Nightcrawler starts as a member of the Brotherhood.
Yeah, but he would switch over along with Angel, and that kind of turns the tide of battle, sort of thing.
I'm also if this is under the Avengers banner, when if Wanda comes back into it, I'm sure she's had a few crosswords for her dad.
Well, we don't know that they're related yet.
Okay, gotcha.
So, at the end of the film, we see the X-Men confronted by the Avengers, and they're offered a partnership between the two factions. Not necessarily you can be Avengers, but we'll sort of work in tandem and, team up together. The fighting ends as the Brotherhood loses certain members to other teams and stuff. The remaining defeated members, including Magneto, are taken to a prison called the Cube. The end of the film is Fisk pushing, I've spelled it wrong.
Pusing
forward the idea of outlawing superheroes, a superhero initiative, anti-superhero.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Government-controlled superhero teams.
I know where this is going.
We're getting into the thick of it, John. Charles Dance is Magneto.
That's very cool casting.
I even got a little. Yes, I have used AI. I did.
That's very cool casting. I do like that casting a lot. I mean, Magneto with a British accent has been done before, of course, because doesn't who plays Gandalf? Ian McKellen.
Yeah, but also
he plays him with like.
Does Michael Fassbender not?
Yeah, he has a very British accent, which I don't understand because he's meant to be from Poland, but it works. It's very sinister. Us Brits have very sinister voices.
Yeah, not us because we're from Yorkshire. But...
No, we're from Yorkshire. We're the good guys.
Like a steak, bacon, a pasty.
In Game of Thrones, all the people who are good guys, they're all from Yorkshire because you can't make them sound evil.
You know nothing, Jon Snow. And then we've got, of course, Professor X.
Yeah, you've shown me this one.
Let's be real. Them two sharing the scene together
would be amazing.
That's money.
I remember when you showed me this, you originally you showed me a picture of Mads Mikkelsen and him together, and it was like, are they going to do the thing? Are they going to have Magneto?
I bounced between Mads Mikkelsen initially, but I needed him for Doom.
Yes, of course.
And then I had Jeremy Irons. But he's like, when I put Jeremy Irons and Charles Dance together, I'm picking Charles Dance.
Yeah, you're picking Charles Dance.
Like, Jeremy Irons hasn't been in anything that has, like, fucking sent chills down my spine like Charles Dance as Tywin Lannister.
I don't know, Scar from Lion King was pretty fucking cool. But yeah, no, Charles Dance is the one that makes more sense.
So I've got Daniel Dimer, I don't know if that's how you say his name, as Cyclops. Daniel Radcliffe as Beast.
Oh, you didn't cast him earlier.
And Sophie Turner as Jean Grey.
Yeah, that's fair. I think she deserves another shot at that. I don't know who Daniel. What's he in?
He's in the new Percy Jackson show, I think. I know that much. Idea. He has the.
What is Daniel Radcliffe in? Who knows?
I'll be honest. I didn't know who to cast as Beast.
Yeah, I think that's quite good. I can hear that voice.
I like the idea though of like
the Beast model.
His short stature though as well. Like he's
would be so juxtaposed with like what Beast
he's unassuming
is.
And stuff. It's like the kind of Bruce Banner Hulk scenario.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Blade,
Wait.
Lover of Evil.
We're into Blade.
So similar to the first Blade film, I don't remember it. So I don't know why I've put that.
Oh, I'm gonna have issues here.
Yes. I think I've just completely rewritten it anyway.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
So the villain here is Lilith, the mother of evil. looking to move vampires from the underworld and up into the overworld to try and take it over. It's up to Blade and a few allies to stop her. We see Blade team up with Werewolf by Night, the return of him. Mm-hmm. But after a transformation goes wrong, the two end up fighting and Blade wounds Werewolf.
Is that his name? Is he just called Werewolf?
No, he's called Jack Russell. He's called Jack Russell. They called him Jack Russell.
That's amazing.
But that's why I've called him Werewolf, because I couldn't bring myself to type out
Jack Russell. He's always he'll bite your ankles.
Yeah, Elsa Bloodstone is in this. That's who the ginger lady is.
Yeah, okay.
She's affiliated with Werewolf by Night and sort of the supernatural stuff anyway. So Blade teams with Bloodstone to try and stop Lilith. They manage to trap Lilith in a different dimension, preventing her or at least slowing her plan down. The twist here is that the film takes place in the early 1900s, and Werewolf by Night's appearance here is set before his actual episode in Marvel lore.
Oh, yeah, because you didn't actually establish what year it takes place in for Werewolf by Night.
We also get name drops here for, like, Hawkeye ancestors and shit again. It's just like
a
gold
when
mine
you say
for
similar
Easter
to the
eggs.
first Blade film, you don't mean similar in any way.
Actually, not similar at all.
Yeah, to be fair, that would be kind of cool, because then you see more of, like, the horror side of Marvel, which is certainly fun.
Yeah. We've got Madeleine Petsch. I think that's how you say her name. She's from Riverdale. But she's a very good actress.
Yeah, I know her. Yeah.
So she's my Elsa Bloodstone, and obviously Mahershala Ali as Blade, because we haven't seen him yet as
Blade.
Blade.
Hopefully.
I'd like to at least see him once as Blade.
Finally getting another Spider-Man. I was like,
finally, we've got one like every 2 years, man.
No, but it felt like a while.
Just because we've had a lot. So Peter is accepted onto an apprenticeship under Oscorp. Also, I said that Craven was hired by somebody earlier,
and it's Oscorp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that was.
But it would be more. It would be a mystery throughout the film. But then the twist at the end is that it would be Oscorp.
Yeah. Onto an apprenticeship under Oscorp scientist Otto Octavius. During his time there, as he's in college at this point, Oscorp partners with Pimtech to work on an unlimited energy source. The power of the sun
in the palm of my hand.
The film then essentially follows the same events of Spider-Man 2, minus him losing his powers, because fuck that. With Doc Ock being taken over by the mechanical arms he uses. In college, Peter meets Mary Jane, who he forms a relationship with, because Black Cat has gone AWOL. She's off, she likes heisting too much. So instead of a self-sacrifice death, Otto destroys the power source, letting the water around New York drown it, and he's transported to the raft for containment. I've kind of blended in the Spider-Man game ending with the film, because I liked the game a lot.
So, wait, so
you get like...
So why does he just... He destroyed the power source because he think it's going to destroy the world or something?
It's like he's the same as Spider-Man 2, where he sort of goes a bit mental.
Yeah.
And he's wanting to, like, take over the world with it, or whatever he's looking to do in that. I can't remember his motivations for it. But he's sort of like...
I just wanted a son.
he basically gets, like, spoken down from it by Peter. It's a big, like, remember who you are kind of thing. You're in control of the arms. And then he
gets
fucking...
down.
Yeah, he throws it into the water and it gets drowned out.
Okay, then.
During this film, we see interactions between Spider-Man and Human Torch. Human Torch explains that reading the Fantastic Four are usually off with the Avengers, dealing with something happening in the world, or even now in space. He prefers the Earth life and has become a viral sensation. He's like celebrity.
Of course he has.
I like the idea that we initially get some stuff with like them being roommates at college, because I think that is a thing where they become roommates in the comics.
Well, they do live together at one point, and apparently Johnny Storm is the worst house guest that Peter Parker's ever had.
So I want to do like a recreation panel for panel of like him just pissing off Peter Parker. Mark Hamill.
Oh, that's really cool.
Octavius.
I like that a lot.